Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Arm channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to tell you why muscle confusion doesn't work. Before I get into this topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this if you need coaching. I'd love to work with you. All right, muscle confusion used to be all the rage. And it still gets passed around quite a bit. I still get a lot of comments about, or questions about muscle confusion. How often do I have to change exercises? Is the concept of confusing a muscle valid when it comes to hypertrophy and strength building? Help, what do I need to do? How often do I need to change exercises? Now, first off, I want you guys to understand that introducing a new exercise or a new movement pattern or something that is different will indeed make you sore. It will indeed create an initial stimulus that will leave the impression that you're doing something impactful. In the long run, though, this is not how you build muscle, and let me explain. If you progress, if you add in a new exercise, let's say you're going to confuse a muscle and you decide you're going to add in random new exercises whenever. Let's say you decide to add in pec deck today or single leg extension, something you haven't done in quite a while. You're going to experience some soreness. But here's the thing, if you introduce an exercise, you are progressing. But if you pull it back out again, you are regressing. So the whole concept or the whole muscle confusion method, basically all it is a constant, endless cycle of futility where you are progressing just for one workout, one or two workouts by adding in a new exercise, and then you're getting away from it and you're regressing again. And when you come back to that exercise, you're only progressing to get back to that point where you're actually functional with that exercise, proficient with that exercise. Does that make sense? So you're never actually getting to the point where you're proficient with the exercise where you can start to progressively overload. You're just involved in this endless cycle of progression, regression, progression, and regression. Let's think about things in very simple terms. Okay, let's say you do cardio. Let's say you run. Let's say you do martial arts. Let's say you do boxing. Let's say you do swimming. Let's say you lift. Maybe you even lift watching this channel. It's a stretch, I know. But when you are doing that form of exercise, you are kind of at a level of proficiency. When you step away from that form of exercise, when you stop running for a while, when you stop lifting for a while, you detrain, you regress on your fitness levels, on your capabilities. Then when you come back to that form of exercise, be it resistance training, swimming, running, or whatever, you're going to be sore, obviously, because you're introducing a new stimulus or a new movement pattern or a new type of exercise you have not done for a while. So you're going to be sore. Likely you're going to be more sore than if you had just been doing it over and over and over again and the body had acclimated. So you're going to be sore. And at that point, you're going to continue to try to improve until you become relatively proficient. Once you become proficient, then you can start to train. Then you can start to actually make improvements. Does that make sense? So there are stages here. When you are untrained on an exercise, you are bringing it up to become relatively proficient enough where you can actually start to perform. If you just do this muscle confusion nonsense, you're constantly in a state of getting acclimated to an exercise, and before you can start to perform or progressively overload, you're removing it, placing something else in, you're regressing on that exercise, and when you come back to it, you have to progress again. This initial soreness when you introduce something new is simply because it's a novel exercise. It's something you haven't done before, and it's not a lasting form of stimulus that is going to create hypertrophy. If you plug in pec deck today and you do 3 sets of 10, and then you plug it out again and do something else, when you come back to it and you progress back into that exercise, you're probably going to be using the same weight or less weight because you're never actively progressing in weight. You're never actively progressing in overload. If you have an exercise for the same weight and reps and you never get stronger over time, you're not going to build muscle using that exercise. Some of the voices in the fitness world are out there scaring you into fearing reaching a level of proficiency at an exercise, but this is what you want to reach. When you become relatively proficient at an exercise, meaning you're doing it week in and week out to the point where you understand form, you're not just getting soreness because it's a new exercise that you introduce, then you can start to safely progressively overload. Then you can start to safely move forward. That's when your performance can start to increase safely and solidly. So just to end cap, the whole concept of muscle confusion or introducing new exercises over and over again, trying to confuse the muscle, is actually counterproductive. What you're doing is you're progressing before you can become proficient at an exercise and start to progressively overload. You regress again, and then when you come back to that exercise, you're just clawing back to reach that minimum level of proficiency. So guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.